There's a million things you've got to know if you want to be a successful entrepreneur or small business person, but when you boil it all down, there's only three. You're going to learn those three key factors for success on this particular video podcast. Thanks for joining us on Next Biz Success. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker, and my guest today is Jim Meyer. He's with the Training and Consulting Connection. That's a consulting firm in the Omaha, Nebraska area. Jim Meyer, thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
By the way, I love your tie. I think that's sharp.
Well, there's one of my sports ties because it's got the children on it playing, and you got to be a child to be a good entrepreneur.
That's right. I knew you were going to make the hook somehow.
You get the energy. I mean, you got to have the energy.
It's got to have fun, right?
Yes, you do.
Now listen, I know there are three things, and everybody studies. There's a lot of books and seminars you can go to, but if I want to start out of the box right now, know the three factors for success, what are they going to have to be?
You got to believe in yourself. You got to really, really want it, and you got to do the work.
Yeah.
Physically, I mean, whatever your product or service is, develop it, do the marketing plan, but you got to do the work mentally about oneself.
Yeah.
And who oneself is in the context of that.
Self-knowledge, yeah.
Self-knowledge, I think that's a piece.
What about the vision thing? Don't you have to have something that gets you out of bed in the morning and say, someday I'm going to get that done?
Well, we're talking here about if you're going to start a business, you're going to be a leader.
Yeah.
Okay, self-starting. And really, I think about leaders in three broad categories.
Okay.
There's the visionary type, and not everybody is A+ in all these, which is a critical element. All right, so
be somebody like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, visionaries.
Very, very visionary. You know, Helen Keller, talked about what could be worse than losing your eyesight, and she said losing your vision.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's a visionary person.
Wow. Somebody write that down. That's incredible.
Right,
yeah. All right, so visionary.
So visionary, and then the second one is the network person, the person who builds, collaborating network person. So absolutely, it's that one that knows you seldom get anything done alone. You know, I think about Margaret Mead, well-known quote, very important one. Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
Wow.
You just don't get it done alone. You got to believe in yourself, like I said before. However, if I can believe in myself and have other people who believe in themselves, and we're properly aligned, the power of that as a team is critical. But I need to know how to collaborate. The third one.
So you got the vision. You got people around you that share the vision, believe in you.
Yep.
Then
but you also got to get it done. You just need the operational person, the operational leader that understands the processes, understands
how to move the ball forward,
how to move it forward, understands the X's and O's. It's I think about Star Wars and Yoda. Try or do not, there is no try.
Yeah.
In other words, act, do, act, do. Learn from it.
The bias towards action thing.
Bias towards action. I think that, if I plan too long and never act, today's world's too fast. You got to be too quick, too nimble, to wait too long to put together the plan. This is why you don't see organizations putting together 10-year strategic plans anymore. Yeah. It shrunk to 5, now it's 3.
Yeah, I've heard 6 months, by the way.
And small businesses like mine, I do a plan, but I also know that there's going to have to be plan B, C, D, and E if these things happen, and so you got to be extremely, in today's systems that are fragile, I say be agile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, how can you be a visionary and be an ops guy that knows how to get things done and grind them out? I mean, these qualities aren't inside of one human being. Am I right, or am I overstating?
Not usually in the A+ way they aren't. They are to a degree. A person may not be a D, maybe a C, but for example, I'm more a visionary guy than I am an ops guy. Yeah. So I need around me and find people who I have had who are good in the finance area, who are good in the administrative aspect.
Sure.
And I, obviously with what I do, I have to do those things. I just need to know and do know that for me, when I do those things, they take more time and energy from me. Yeah. So am I better to get somebody else who's more effective and efficient? Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So
you don't believe in going off and bolstering your weaknesses. Your attitude is the Gallup thing, where you find your strengths and try to leverage your strengths, and then find other people to kind of support and buttress you.
Yes and no. Because as you know, I do sports psychology work. If you take somebody like Phil Mickelson as a golfer, he's got weaknesses as a golfer. For him to not work on those weaknesses and to compete at the level he is, that would be bad decision making.
That's right.
So I think as a speaker, as a trainer, as a facilitator, as a consultant, I need to keep learning. A person who's listening to this and says, I'm really not curious, I don't want to learn anymore, then you shouldn't launch out on your own business. You really shouldn't, because the world's going to change unless you got lots of money and you're doing it for a hobby.
There's another quality that we've discussed before, you know, these first qualities, visionary and collaborative and operational expertise and so on, and that adds up to a very balanced profile. But there's another quality that you've shared with me before that seems kind of unbalanced, but I understand intuitively that that's a success. What is that quality?
Talking about obsession?
Yes.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, people would say I'm obsessed.
Not the Calvin Klein cologne, by the way. The real obsession, the emotional obsession.
Yeah, I don't wear that myself. But yeah, I really believe that high-performance people are obsessive.
Yeah.
And there's always a balance, Lynn. I'm not talking about going off and that's the only thing
No, wait a minute.
you do.
You can't be obsessed and have a balanced lifestyle.
No, you can be. Yeah, you can be. In other words, yes, you can. I can spend very disciplined time studying a certain aspect of leadership and getting so good at it that I want to have all the T's crossed and I's dotted. But I can also, you know, click it off and say, you know, okay, I've had enough of this today.
Right.
I need to rest. I need to incubate on it and let my subconscious work because it's going to keep working it. But you know,
it goes from the left brain to the right brain.
Well, it's just
it?
like with the sports psychology stuff.
Yeah.
You know, some advice I give people I'm working with is to don't go practice today.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
you need to take that rest.
Yeah. Now, let's say, for instance, you realize you have a weakness, or things aren't going well, or maybe you're not as balanced. Maybe you don't have the obsession. I don't know.
Sure.
How do you get the help that you need, and how do you sort through all the people out there that want your dollars and your valuable time? I mean, what's the next step?
Well, I start with the thought first that Socrates said, "Pitied person knows it all," and there's the other side of that too. Pitied person knows nothing.
Yeah.
But you need to be coached and coachable.
Yeah.
You know, am I coachable?
Yeah.
Meaning, and who do I go to for that? Well, you know, if I'm going to get financial advice, I'm going to go to. This is all given. I'm going to qualify them as somebody I trust. But do they know what they're talking about?
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes people live and stay only within their family structure or their little town.
Sure.
And that's maybe not the expertise they need.
Yeah.
So I ask people, you know, I'm telling them, I says three things again. Who do you go to for clarification? Mm-hmm. Meaning, therefore, somebody who asks questions real good, who understands what you're saying. Who do you go to confront you? Challenge your thoughts, challenge your ideas.
I love it. Clarify, confront.
And sometimes you just need to be nurtured. Who do you go to comfort you? You know, it's that unconditional support. You know, you did your best,
right,
and it didn't work out the way you wanted to. Boy, have I been told no enough times.
I know a lot of entrepreneurs that could use some unconditional support.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim Meyer, with the Training Consulting Connection in Omaha, Nebraska. You've given us the big picture on the emotional makeup and the profile. We need it so badly. We don't sometimes look inside of ourselves. We're looking at prospects in the business and finance, and we're not really understanding who we are and how to react to this incredible array of situations that we have to deal with on a regular basis. Thanks for watching Next Best Success. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. We want to make sure you keep on going and keep on growing. Know who you are.